So after 9 hours in hydrochloric acid, your body is going to be completely disintegrated. Fortunately for you, the fumes would have killed you long before that.
Hydrochloric acid, albeit a dilute concentration, is the same acid the stomach makes to dissolve food. It's also the acid that's a key step in making the ubiquitous substance gelatin, a tasteless protein that puts the gel in Jell-O. The Eastman Gelatin Corporation, located in Peabody, Massachusetts, has been making gelatin for nearly a century. Getting to the bare bones of the process starts with just that, bones.
Each of the rail cars that comes into the plant contains about 200,000 pounds of bone. The bone is being unloaded from a rail car. It goes through a sifter, which has some screens of different sizes, and we move the very fine material we call bone meal. The larger pieces of bone go into a storage bin.
Each bin holds roughly 500,000 pounds of bone, leftovers from roughly 41,000 head of cattle. After the bone is stored, it's ready for a lift. An electric crane glides over the bin, scooping up 1,500 pounds of bone and dumping it into a vat. When the vat is filled with 33,000 pounds of bone chips, it's time to bring on the acid.
We use hydrochloric acid because it reacts very effectively with the bone. The hydrochloric acid is removing the minerals from the bone. The minerals are essentially the concrete in the reinforced concrete. And we're reacting with that, removing the minerals, leaving behind the rebar. The rebar is the protein which we're going to make the gelatin out of.
It's a variable process that requires some old-school methods. A stick test helps determine whether the bone is ready for the next step.
The bone that has been demineralized is not as dense. The stick can push its way down through it. So that's our way of telling how much of the bone has been demineralized.
After the acid demineralizes the bone is transferred to a lime bath. Here, lime finishes the job of breaking down the collagen proteins that have been exposed by the hydrochloric acid. The bone is then washed and pumped into an extraction vat for gelatin removal.
What I'm holding in my hand here is essentially what I call the rebar. So we've removed the minerals to get the concrete out of the way, and what we're left with is just the protein.
The gelatin is extracted in a hot water solution and pumped through an extruder, falling onto a conveyor looking like wet spaghetti noodles.
What I'm holding in my hand here is 30% gelatin and 70% water. As soon as you put it in your mouth, it would melt, and it had no flavor at all.
The gelatin is then cooked until it's bone dry, cut into granules, boxed and shipped. From this point on, it can be used in a variety of different products, including film emulsions, pharmaceuticals, golf balls, and foods. Bon appetit. While gelatin's lack of flavor makes it a valued food additive, acid's sour flavor makes it a prized food ingredient.
Before me, I have a range of acidic materials that we consume every day. Oranges, which contain citric acid, will have a pH of about 3.8. Ginger ale, which also contains citric acid, has a pH of about 3. A cola contains phosphoric acid, and it's going to be about 2.6. And finally, we have red wine vinegar, which is the most acidic of these materials. And as with all acids, vinegar has a wonderful sour taste.
Vinegar is hardly deemed a refreshing beverage, but Americans consume more than 6 million tons of it a year. One of the oldest and largest commercial manufacturers of vinegar is Heinz.